Europe's leaders gathered in Copenhagen this week under the shadow of rising insecurity. With Russian drones buzzing across borders from Poland to Sweden and tensions climbing in the Baltic, the atmosphere in Denmark's capital was electric, fortified by strict airspace controls, armed patrols, and an overwhelming sense that Europe is entering a new phase of confrontation with Moscow. At the heart of the discussions was a single radical idea: a continent-wide drone wall to defend Europe's skies. Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen set the tone, declaring that Europe was in the middle of a hybrid war and facing its most dangerous moment since the end of World War II. "There is only one country that is willing to threaten us," she said bluntly, "and it is Russia." Her warning reflects the growing unease across the continent. The use of small, low-cost drones by both Russia and Ukraine has revolutionized modern warfare, and now Europe fears it may be next in line. In recent months, European nations have recorded a surge in suspicious drone sightings. Poland shot down several unidentified drones that violated its airspace, and reports of drone incursions have surfaced from Germany, Sweden, and Finland. European intelligence agencies believe many of these drones are either directly controlled by Russia or part of reconnaissance and probing missions testing NATO's defenses. For many European leaders, these incidents are proof that the Kremlin's hybrid warfare strategy is already in motion, one that blends espionage, cyber attacks, disinformation, and unmanned aerial incursions. To counter this threat, European Union and NATO leaders are now rallying behind the idea of a drone wall. The concept, still in early development, envisions a vast digital shield spanning Europe's eastern borders, from the Arctic north of Finland to the Black Sea. This network would combine mobile radar units, satellite surveillance, laser-based air defense systems, and artificial intelligence-powered sensors to detect, track, and destroy enemy drones in real time. It is being described as the Iron Dome of Europe, only much larger and far more complex. The vision is ambitious. The European Commission's defense chief, Andrius Kubilius, has called the drone wall a core element of Europe's defense architecture. NATO leaders, including Secretary-General Mark Rutte and European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen, have expressed strong support. At the Copenhagen summit, a prototype radar grid was already deployed to protect the venue from potential drone incursions. Military analysts say this could mark the beginning of a new continental air defense network, integrating everything from mobile jamming teams to stationary anti-aircraft cannons and high-energy lasers. Technological innovation is already underway. An Australian defense company recently secured an $84 million contract from a NATO member to deliver laser-based drone interception systems capable of burning small drones out of the sky within seconds. Several European nations are developing radio frequency sensors and AI-assisted radar that can automatically identify and neutralize low-flying UAVs. However, the economics of drone defense remain a major challenge. Shooting down a drone that costs $10,000 with a missile worth $1 million is unsustainable. As Kubilius put it, you can't spend €1 million to shoot down a toy. Even as these security discussions unfolded, Europe received a stark reminder of the hybrid threat it faces. Off the coast of France, authorities arrested the captain and first officer of a Russian-linked oil tanker named Pushpa or Barakai. The vessel, blacklisted by the EU for being part of Moscow's sanctions-evading shadow fleet, was immobilized and suspected of links to recent drone incidents near Denmark. The arrests underscored how far-reaching and unconventional Russia's tactics have become, blurring the lines between economic warfare, espionage, and aerial incursions. Despite the growing urgency, not everyone is convinced that a drone wall is the answer. German Defense Minister Boris Pistorius has cautioned against unrealistic expectations, arguing that there are other priorities and warning that resources must be allocated wisely. Former U.S. Army Europe Commander Lieutenant General Ben Hodges echoed that skepticism, saying, "Everybody's got cool ideas, but they're not anchored in an overall strategy." Building a continental defense network across 27 nations, each with different military systems and budgets, is an enormous logistical challenge. Experts estimate that even a partial drone defense grid could cost tens of billions of euros and take years to complete. Yet the Copenhagen summits reflect a deeper shift, one that goes beyond drones. For decades, Europe has depended heavily on US military protection under NATO's umbrella. But with Washington's attention increasingly drawn toward Asia and domestic divisions growing in American politics, European leaders are beginning to accept a new reality. They must rearm, innovate, and defend themselves independently. Fredrickson summed it up best. We need to rearm. We need to buy more capabilities. We need to innovate more. The drone wall may not only be about security, it may also symbolize Europe's first real step toward military sovereignty. Analysts agree that the need is urgent. Justin Bronk of the Royal United Services Institute warned that Europe is not ready for the scale of drone warfare Russia could unleash. He noted that the continent needs a far greater array of cost-effective and sustainable defenses before it can deter Moscow's next move. If successfully implemented, the drone wall could become the world's largest coordinated drone defense system, a literal shield for Europe's skies. If it fails, the continent could face a new kind of air war for which it is unprepared. The Copenhagen meetings may be remembered as a turning point, the moment Europe began to treat the skies above it as a battlefield. Whether the drone wall becomes a reality or remains a political fantasy will depend on how quickly Europe can unite, fund, and innovate. But one thing is clear: the nature of war has changed forever. The new walls of Europe will not be built from bricks and concrete, but from algorithms, sensors, and light.